37,000 CICs. That's what we have currently in the United Kingdom. And just last year alone, over 7,000 CICs were registered in Companies House. I mean, the numbers are growing because, listen, communities want CICs, the funders love CICs, and you can use your CIC to get paid from the grant funding you get to do projects for community and then, you know, live the life you've always wanted to live. So one of the things I do is to help people set up fundable CICs and also help them get grant funding. Now, what do you need to do if you're planning to set up your CIC this year? The CIC is a community interest company that gives you access to grant funding. Think of it like this. The CIC is like this community well. You get paid because you built the well. You are taking care of the well, right? Anything that concerns that well, you know, that you do, you get paid for it. People will drink water from that well, but you cannot drink the whole thing. The CIC benefits the community and also benefits you. And I'll talk about that as we go into this YouTube video. A CIC can be limited in two ways. Remember, it's still a limited company. A CIC can be limited by shares or limited by guarantee. And to make it very easy for you, if you're registering your CIC this year, your CIC should be limited by guarantee. Why? If your CIC is limited by shares, it means you want to take a profit. Remember, we cannot take a profit from the CIC. Every profit the CIC makes is reinvested into the community. But we can get paid from the projects we do for the community. If I do a project for my community and I get grant funding to do it and I work for that project and I do some sessions in that project, then I can take money legally to pay myself. As the director of a CIC, you can't take a profit, but you can be paid legally for any service you render to the CIC with your expertise or your skill. What do you need to do before you get registered? Number one, you need to have a minimum of 3 unrelated directors, yourself and 2 other persons. And all of you have to be persons of significant control when you're registering in Companies House. Number 2, you need to have your registered address. People use their houses for the start, and then as you go along, you can decide to use an address system where it's a virtual address. It depends on you, but for a start, you can use your house address, and then you can change it as you go along, right? The next thing you would need to register your CIC, there are 2 forms you must fill. The CIC 36 and the Articles of Association. Those are 2 forms that you must fill if you're registering your CIC this year. The CIC Form 36 guarantees rejection or acceptance when it comes to Companies House registration, right? Over 30% of about 4,000 applications last year was rejected by Companies House just because their CIC 36 form was not properly filled. I'll tell you about a couple of things you need to check out for once you fill your CIC 36. Now, if you've gotten to this point of the video, all I want you to do right now before we continue talking is for you to put in the comments what idea you have for a CIC, and I'll definitely be replying you and telling you if that idea will fly or not. So drop it in the comments and I'll be there to talk you through that idea, and I'll reply every comment that I see. The CIC 36, think of it like a theory of change, right? What the regulators want to see is the problem you like to solve, the activities you will do to solve those problems, the outcomes of those activities, and then what impact will the activities make. They want to actually see via a write-up from problem to solution to impact, right? Most times, why people fail the community interest test via the CIC 36 is because they are very vague. Imagine somebody just writing in the CIC 36 that we will run workshops for young people, right? Or just using ChatGPT to spew out generic write-up and copying that and just pasting it on the CIC 36. That is why most people's CIC 36 or their CIC registration gets rejected in Companies House. Now, I'll tell you a couple of things you need to understand, right? Number one, the CIC 36 must answer 4 questions. The first question is who. You need to define exactly who will benefit from the projects that you will do, right? Don't just say young people. Be clear about the age range of those young people. Where will those young people stay, right? Is it young people 14 to 25 that live in a borough in London or Hackney? Where would they, and what problems are those young people experiencing? As our company will benefit young people 14 to 25 living in Hackney and are not in education, employment, and training. Are you seeing how specific that write-up has become rather than a generic we would help young people? So the more specific you are, the better your application will be when you register your CIC. The next thing you need to answer is what? What's the specific activity you will do to help these people that you have defined above, right? The next one will be how will you do it, right? How will you deliver that benefit to these people? Are you going to run weekly employability sessions? Are you going to do one-to-one mentoring? Are you going to partner with institutions? What specific activities will bring about the outcomes that you're talking about? Now, the CIC 36 also needs to have what we call the asset lock. It's going to be there in the form. Now, this is the CIC 36, if you can see it very clearly, right? This is just me printing this one out, right? It's going to be something you feel on Microsoft Word, right? So if you notice, you will see you put your company's name, the benefit the company would give, and then you would have to do something called an asset lock. You have to name a charity or an organization that would take over that CIC in case the CIC is dissolved or maybe one of its directors is investigated for fraud, right? The community interest statement, the asset lock, and then the last part of the CIC form is the activity and the outcomes. Those are the three things that you will need to do when you're writing your CIC 36. Let's talk about the registration process step by step, right? Because now you already have directors, you already have your address, you already have your SIC code, and you've written your CIC 36. It's time to register. What's the first thing you need to do? You need to go to Companies House, and I'll put the link on the description of this video to register. As at the time I'm making this video, registration for a CIC is £115, right? That's the registration fee you need to pay to Companies House to get your CIC registered. Once you get your name, and I'll always advise you to check that the name you want to use is available. Select a name that fits the kind of CIC you'd like to run with the kind of benefit the society will get for that CIC, right? Once you've done that, go on Companies House and then do your registration, right? Put in the name, choose the company type. Like I've said, it has to be limited by guarantee. You put in your address and just follow the process step by step. But one thing I'll ask you to do is that since you're registering, if you're registering at a go and you have 3 directors, you must make sure that the 3 directors, they will all be person of significant control. And when you're selecting their voting right, it has to be 25%, no more than 50%. That's very important. Once you've done your registration, uploaded those 2 documents I told you about, the CIC 36 and the Articles of Association, you're good to go, right? The next thing you want to do, as soon as it takes 2 to 4 days for your incorporation certificate to be out. They will send it to you via email, and they will send you other documents like your authentication code and other documents to the post address that you put when you were doing your registration. Once that is out, the next thing you want to do immediately you get your registration documents out is to open your bank account. Phone your bank or go online and register for a bank immediately. Don't let it slide. Don't wait till the next day. Don't wait till 2 weeks after. Your incorporation documents, your bank account is the next important thing that you'd like to do immediately your registration documents are out. Now, most funders will reject online banks like Starling, Revolut, Monzo. Most of these online banks, funders might reject them. What we tell new CIC founders when we consult with them is for them to look at the high street banks. What is the bank you already bank with that is a high street bank? Maybe you already bank with Barclays, right? Maybe you already bank with Co-op. Those are great banks to look out for. Now, you also need to make sure that what you're opening with those banks is not just a business account. It has to be a community account, right? There's a new bank that most people don't know about that I always recommend called Unity Bank. Unity Bank is another bank that you can try if you'd like to get your CIC bank account opened. I advise you to apply for at least 2 banks, and sometimes the banking process, opening a bank account might take between 2 to at least 12 weeks. Sometimes it takes shorter, but at least 2 to 12 weeks is what you're expecting that to take. If you apply to 2 or 3 banks, because maybe one might say no, 2 others might accept you, it's important that you have because if you don't have a bank account, where are you going to put the funding? Now, once you've gotten your bank account, there are a couple of other things you'd need to do. The next thing you need to do is to register with the ICO, Information Commissioner's Office, right? That's very important because of data protection. It's about £50 or £52 per year, but it is worth the money. You need to do that quickly for your CIC. After that, you need to get insured, right? Get your CIC's insurance done. Do a public liability insurance for your CIC. The next thing you need to do is to get your policies. There are 5 core policies that you need to get for your CICs. Number 1 is your health and safety policy. Number 2 is your safeguarding policy. Number 3 is your equality and diversity policy. Number 4 is your lone working or your director's policy. Number 5 is your complaints policy. And then just adding to that, add your finance policy because it's very, very important. Policies are so important. Some funders will ask you to upload your safeguarding policies and some other policies as you begin to apply for grant funding. Don't leave it till later. Now, as soon as you clock a year with your CIC, you would need to register for corporation tax. You'd also need to fill what we call the CIC Form 34, right? The CIC Form 34 is the form you fill to report all the impact activities you've done. You might not need it now, but 1 year after, you're going to need your CIC 34, right? That's important. Keep that somewhere. What are the 5 common mistakes that most CIC founders make when they start CICs? Number 1 is registering alone. You need at least 2 directors to make sure you're governable. Number 2 is not filling the CIC 36 properly. Number 3 is waiting too late to start talking about bank accounts and policies. Number 4 is applying for grants too early. Number 5 is ignoring the filing deadlines. This is the complete guide to set up your CIC this year, and I hope it really helped you. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like this video and just put the word CIC in the comments, and I'll definitely be sending you a free guide to one of my ebooks that will help you a lot, right? So just comment the word CIC and I'll reply you with the link to that free guide. Next week, I'm talking about National Lottery and the £20,000 I talked about before. I work with founders. I work with CIC founders. I help set up CICs. I help get grant funding for CICs. And I work one-on-one with you to make sure that your CIC is fundable. My name is Mr. Zion. I'm a CIC consultant. I'm a grant funding expert. And I publish videos on this channel every single week.